Hello, my name is host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. And tonight I want to respond to a video that I watched last night by a fellow named Echkert Tolle. The name sounded familiar to me. I'm pretty sure he's a semi-famous philosopher type guy or something. And I want to make clear first and foremost that the guy's an INFJ. He's a textbook INFJ. He's all about the oneness and the return to unity, yada, 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 which is fine. And I want to say, in general, I liked the video a lot. I watched something like 17 minutes of it, which is outstanding. And uh, where's all the background noise coming from? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so here's the deal with what he's basically saying. He's saying there's a distinction between true love and ego love. The former having no opposite, but simply being a state of presence in the moment that is that outweighs any other factor. That this full degree of presence in the moment is the attainment of true human being or the truly conscious human, of which there occurs in very small frequencies, according to Mr. Eckhart Tolle. And the thing to note as well is what he said about relationships in this, which is romantic love. In other words, the application of love with another individual is going to run in one of two ways. Either it's going to be love-hate relationship, in which case you're not talking about true love, or it's going to be a true love relationship, in which case there's no hate involved in it because it has no opposite. So he basically describes the average relationship as being a series of um, fights, disappointments, resentments, repairs, yada, 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 in a cycle that ultimately affords neither party a chance to attain realness, but instead replaces realness with moments of intensity, such that intensity is mistaken for authenticity. And I liked that point. I like the point of intensity being mistaken for authenticity in general. I thought that was a good point. But here's the problem with what he's basically getting at this notion of present in the moment, present in a way that doesn't engage one's self-concept narratives. He's basically a big critic of self-concept narratives and finds them limiting and or false, that we're attached in general to self-concept narratives to the exclusion of authenticity that's expressed by being present in the moment and not relating back to these metaphysical abstractions. Okay, well, this is the risk you take when you go about doing philosophizing without having any taxonomy of cognition to start it off. So, hey, yo, Blanky, thank you. Um, uh, if you start off you're philosophizing that any model of metacognition, and then you're trying to universalize some sort of spiritual truth that is supposed to apply to everybody, well, then you're going to do something really fucking stupid, like say, let's always prioritize causality over conditionality, as though the conditional realm, the realm of ideation, the realm of self-concept, is not in and of itself inherently as legitimate as the realm of causality. Why does he make this mistake? Well, because he's NISE. It's the natural mistake for them to make. He understands as an SE seeker that his NI truths lead him into a kind of intuitive swamp because he knows what that which is inherently and obviously true about the world in ways that are about aesthetic rightness, goodness, truth, spirituality, and stuff. But he understands that the distinctions that are necessary to be drawn there preclude it from being a meaningful understanding of human existence, except insofar as he reduces it to experiential. Now, experiential, he assumes, is more real somehow than is conditionality, the world of conditionality. But it's not more real, and he shouldn't be mistaking his own inherent expression of his own cognitive functions, namely SE seeking, NI providing, as a universal truth that all people should aspire to. Dickwad. Anyway, um, sorry I called you a dickwad, Eckhart Tolle. You're not a dickwad. You're fine. but no, it's pretty weak sauce, frankly, Mr. Fancy Spiritual Guy. Anyway, so the next thing I want to say about it is he also said it's important that we get rid of this notion that you can have a single true soulmate final partner that makes everything okay in your life. And that in order to actually achieve okayness, you have to have this. The methodology is this presence approach. That to be okay, be present with your partner, be really present in a way that really blah blah blah. Okay, well, what if my amount of presence is seeped in self-concept narratives or concept narratives for the other person? Why is it that my metaphysical realm of understanding of the self, the other, and the relationship is fundamentally less valid than your in the moment experiential realm of it? So there's this like dismissal of extroverted intuition implicit in what he's saying. But so forgetting about that though, his point being that it's a myth that you should find this one that it's like a psychological failure of human beings to have this dream that well out there somewhere there's my soulmate and then it'll make everything okay. Except it's not a myth. It's true. There is actually the person out there that complements your personality type. And if you get the right one and it lines up right, then it really does make everything okay. Sorry. I know it sounds crazy. I know. You don't really think, hey, that goes against what everybody in psychology says. Look, it's going to make everything better. It's not going to make you fixed entirely. To the extent that you're still damaged, those damages will take time to repair themselves. They will repair themselves because the frameworks line up between cognitive function stacks in such a way that it, that all the negative shit has negative feedback loops, and all the positive shit has positive feedback loops. And so it's like you just can't. I have no fight in me. The fight leaves my sails immediately with her. Why? Because we're complements metaphysically. This is what Echkert Tolle does not understand. He is not evaluating whether or not there's a perfect person out there for him based on an actual taxonomy of his own cognition that suggests there are missing holes for a complement to fill. So obviously, his entire metaphysics is fucking garbage. So fuck you, Eckhart Tolle. And I'm sorry I said fuck you, Eckhart Tolle. You're fine and everything, but fuck you, Eckhart Tolle. Thanks for watching Talking with
He's
Famous
just
People.
pissed off because he's never experienced it.
And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.